This playthrough is rated M for mature. Raymond, you've got some splaining to do. Greetings and salutations, viewers. Well, we're back here with another episode of Shadowrun Hong Kong. In the last episode, we went through Prosperity Tower, found Raymond, we were able to hack him out of the system and keep his memories intact. But how well is the guy, and will his memories help us with Josephine Singh? Well, let's find out today as the team interrogates Mr. Raymond. The team hustles Raymond onto a subway car, quietly taking up defensive positions and scoping the platform for signs of pursuit. The old man is unsteady on his feet, but he insists on standing under his own power. He grabs a railing and holds on with white knuckles as the train lurches forward. A group of tourists sit nearby, conspicuously avoiding eye contact with any of you. Your crew looks over the old man with a bandage on the back of his head, exchanging meaningful expressions. Raymond squints at the odd group surrounding him, but his nod indicates that he understands he's among friends. Wu drags his goggles off his head, bending his knees to get a better look at his foster father. Oh, wait, sorry. I messed up on dialogue. It's just a description, but usually when it's them on screen with their portrait, it usually means it's them talking, not the descriptive part. So, Wu drags his goggles off his head, bending his knees to get a better look at his foster father. A tangled knot of relief, compassion, resentment, and hurt churns across the younger man's face as he wrestles with his confused emotions. Fear for his father's health overcomes them. Raymond, are you alright, little man? I fought against the reprogramming. Holy crap, yeah, look at his portrait. He's a lot worse off. He wasn't so bad when we first pulled him up, and now look at him. The old man's voice is a little more than a soft croak. His eyes are sunken and surrounded by dark circles. His mother's medical technology must be amazing. It's hard to believe he's walking under his own power so soon after the surgery. Yeah, well, Grandma's an amazing woman. Her high-tech brain surgery, her ownership of the cops, her execution of my partner and those runners. Wu's face hardens and stands up straight, glaring down at the old man. Oh, and the way she had the plastic-faced man snatch her own son. Amazing woman. She's a real piece of work, no doubt about it. Yeah, tell me about it. Apparently her son is too. Pain and bitterness drips from Wu's deep, raspy voice. This man, whoever he is, has a lot of explaining to do. Are you ready to start telling us the truth, Edward? The old man tilts his head up at the orc towering above him, and although exhausted, his jaw sets firm. Yes, Duncan, I'm ready to tell you everything. I had planned to explain it all when you arrived in Hong Kong. Yeah, our meeting was postponed due to kidnapping and murder. The old man's mouth purses and his lips quiver for a moment, but he regains control. I never believed it would come to that my mother was capable of... He allows the thought to remain unfinished. The old man leans back on the wall of the subway car and gathers his thoughts. He seems to swoon for a moment, but then inhales deeply, swallows hard, and pulls himself erect. The name's Edward Singh. I'm the only son of Josephine Singh, the CEO of Singh Mechanical Services, heir to the company before I left Hong Kong. I was the vice president of special projects, the up-and-coming star of the company. If you were the golden boy, why'd you leave Hong Kong? Raymond frowns as if the taste of the words are bitter in his mouth. My division was shut down, disbanded. One of my projects failed. Prosperity. Something you've never seen before washes over the tired old man's face. Shame. Shame? For shame on you? You've heard of it. Prosperity. I see. Raymond takes a deep breath, and a labored croak of his voice drops to a monotone. I was part of a project my mother envisioned to rebuild Kowloon Walled City, a walking neighborhood for underprivileged citizens, fully integrated with job training programs, co-op childcare, drug counseling centers. It was a new approach to low-income housing in the East, the springboard to prosperity for hundreds of thousands. Yes, that doesn't sound like the place I grew up in. Raymond is 20 years away, doesn't seem to hear. Mother personally oversaw every aspect of the project to ensure that every detail was executed properly. Chose each project manager herself, chaired regular status meetings with architects, buildings, and visited the worksite for surprise inspections. She was driven to make a renewed, revitalized walled city a success. So that was Prosperity, another low-income housing project? No, the walled city wasn't the Prosperity project. Raymond covers his eyes with a liver-spotted hand, the dread radiating from him like the stink of decayed meat. Prosperity was something I built at the center of the walled city. Then his hand drops, his eyes roll back in his head, and his face goes slack. A moment later, an invisible grip takes hold of your chest, constricts it, squeezing the air from your lungs. Your vision grays from the edges, and the world surges backward, leaving you suspended in the distance on the periphery of reality. Something is hurtling toward you, approaching from the fringe of your mind like a bullet train. It screams ahead, closer and closer, until it is upon you, overwhelming you with its presence. And then nothing. Silence. Until a scream pierces your consciousness, pulls you screaming to its source. You're back in the walled city, the city of darkness. Dude, what a trip! Your mind wrenches, inverts, and then violently jerks back into your skull. Your stomach cramps hard, and the taste of bile burns your throat. A thin trickle of cold sweat slides down the small of your back, and your eyes refuse to focus. Your crew fares no better. Gobbet pulls herself from the floor, madness and folly squeaking wearily in the folds of her clothing. Isabel grips a railing, her back to the group, retching silently. Ractor leans against Cochet, his ashen face staring at the ceiling. He blinks rapidly, processing. Gaichuj stands perfectly still in the center of the car, hands at his sides, his face impassive. Wu breathes deeply, his hands on his knees. That wasn't a dream. He shakes his head like a lion's mane and spits on the floor. That was something else. Gobbet's breathing is shallow. She's covered in a thin sheen of sweat. It was a vision. I saw some sort of machine inside the walled city. Isabel turns, squinting in concentration. Her lips are white. It was churning something. It felt wrong, impossible. I think it was ripping. I don't know. Reality, the orc girl shudders. It was ripping a hole in reality. Something is here, my friends. Something has arrived. I believe we have just fallen in over our head. Wu straightens up, drawing the back of a wrist across his mouth. What the hell was that, Raymond? No answer. Wu spins to find Raymond cowering, his head in his hands, shuddering and weeping. She is here. Oh crap, who's here, Raymond? The queen with 1,000 teeth. Raymond rocks in place, hugging himself, staring past you at someone only he can see. I left prosperity in there. I left prosperity in there. I left prosperity in there. Uh-oh, looks like Raymond's gone bye-bye. Shh, Gobbet. Isabel whispers her admonishment. Snap your fingers in front of Raymond's face. Ray, back here, Ray. Raymond blinks, his eyes open, his voice is weak, hesitant, discontented, somehow. Are we in the subway? The right corner of his mouth twitches noticeably. Why is he stuttering? He's not. I used to stutter, and this doesn't sound like a stutter to me. Something else is going on. Could be the visions, could be the aborted brain surgery, or some combination of the two. Something bad is happening. Began a long time ago, and I'm responsible. His eyes open wide. The queen, prosperity. The queen with 1,000 teeth. These dreams, visions, they've been coming to you for a long time, haven't they? Yes, yes, I've been plagued by the nightmares for a long time. Raymond's lips start to tremble. They began years ago, sporadically at first. Vague dreams, wrapped tight with guilt. What a shame. Raymond's eyes roll back in his head and he closes them tight. Until that last year when he searches for the word. The frequency began to increase. Then the imagery clarified, started to repeat. Teeth. Thousands and thousands of teeth. He sways for a moment, dizzy. And the sounds of suffering began to drown out, even my waking thoughts. That's when I knew I had to come back. Yeah, the truth, Raymond. Why did your mother have you kidnapped? Why, to erase your memory? To do what? To correct a mistake I made a long time ago. He puts a hand out and stays himself on Wu's arms. My fault. Prosperity. All those people, those poor, poor people. When you worked on the walled city? Yes, we rebuilt in 2031. A new approach to... He fidgets with his gauze bandaged. Low-income housing. I was in charge of a special project, an experimental project, one that would help countless people. If we were successful. Wu's tone gets a little sharper. We know. We already covered this, Raymond. Prosperity. Shame eclipses the old man's face. You know about prosperity? Looks like he's got a... Because of what's been going on, he's almost got a set of Alzheimer's or something like that going on, or something crazy like that. I don't know, man. But, yes, sort of. Wu's tone gets a little sharper. Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly like Alzheimer's, but something maybe similar, you know what I mean? We already covered this, Raymond. We know that's the center of the walled city and that Edward Sang built it. And we have Edward Sang here to explain the whole thing. Right, Edward? Edward, yes, that's me. Edward Sang is Raymond Black. I know I couldn't explain. The beginning was sometime in the 20s. My mother was awarded the... He searches for the word. The contract to rebuild in the housing development, the walled city. Well, from the results, I say your mom kind of blew it. Prosperity failed. Frustration appears in the old man's tired eyes. I told you that the walled city wasn't the prosperity project. Prosperity was the fortune engine. I built at the center of the walled city. My special project. Fortune engine? What are you talking about? Wu sneers. You can't create fortune, Raymond. Well, what about the whole key situation going on where we had to deal with that? So, if key is magic in a thing, why can't you build fortune off of that? I don't know. You kinda can, Gunshow. Some practitioners of feng shui believe they can do it. Ever heard of the Bagua, the 8 aspirations? Wu looks at Gobbet flatly. No, Gobbet. I must have skipped school that day. Keep going, Gobbet. I want to hear this. Gobbet wrinkles her nose at Wu. It's Neo Feng Shui. The masters of the craft can map the flow of ki and how it corresponds to different aspects in someone's life. Fame, relationships, creativity, inner knowledge, health, and fortune. That's 6. I thought you said there were 8 aspects. The little orc shrugs. Little? I don't remember the other 2, but one of them was definitely fortune. She looks sideways at Raymond. So what does your fortune engine do? The fortune engine was designed to improve the balance of ki in a negative ki environment. A negative ki environment? Somewhat shitty, like a slum. Raymond corrects her. Like a low income housing project. I believe that with the fortune engine, the rebuilt walled city might never become a slum. He drifts off for a moment, remembering. Then he squeezes his eyes shut and lowers his head. But the machine malfunctioned. How do you know about how to create magic machines, Raymond? I thought you were an industrial engineer. I am. I also have several advanced degree doctorates in physics, Taoist alchemy. The old man shrugs shakily. My mother pushed me hard to reach my potential. Wu stares at him blankly. A doctorate in magic? Great, something else we didn't know about you. You guys can work through your family secrets later. Isabel leans in and speaks gently to Raymond. How does the machine malfunction? How did the machine malfunction? The mechanism was I created to circulate negative ki in the walled city. He brings the liver-spotted hand to his mouth. It got stuck. Stuck on what? Raymond rises slowly, pulling himself from his crumpled heap. His tone turns instructive, the old Raymond, but his explanation is halty and weary. Think of the fortune engine as a sort of propeller blade moving through astral space, circulating ki, keeping it, he hunts for the word, fresh, like lemon fresh. When ki flows, then the rhythm is right, the results are positive, fortuitous. When I brought my design for the fortune engine to my mother, she embraced it. He exhales. She's more than embraced it. She bankrolled it, put an entire division of Sang Mechanical under me to develop it. Sounds like a good big bet. Raymond nods rapidly. The biggest of her career. Mother said that if the machine could bring fortune to the less fortunate, it would prove my theory. And if it could help the poor, imagine what a fortune engine could do for Josephine sang. Wu jaws clenches. But that's not what happened, was it? Something went wrong. The people in the walled city didn't benefit from your fortune engine, did they, Raymond? The old man bows his head, doesn't answer. Answer the question, Raymond. What went wrong? It's got stuck. He grabs his head with both hands, squeezes his eyes shut. The mechanism I created to circulate negative key in the walled city got stuck. You can see Wu's patience blowing away like autumn leaves in a high wind. He rubs his head viciously in frustration. Stuck on what, Raymond? The old man gets a confused look on his face. His lips move soundlessly for several moments. Wu leans in close, drops to a whisper, sees in his foster father's face. Stuck on what? Raymond winces at Wu's tone and stumbles back a step, but it does the job and the old man focuses. Something in astral space. I wasn't sure what. That sounds bad. The machine started pulling negative key. The old man's breathing began to accelerate, and the walled city started to fill with it. Fortunes turned bad. I've been in places where the feng shui was really bad. That's not what I felt when I was in the walled city. No, key needs to flow. Eventually, the enormous pool of negative key became toxic. Fortunes turned from bad to worse. Much worse. Raymond's shoulders slump. Mother's vision for a rebuilt, revitalized walled city fell to ruin. It only took a few years for the trapped toxic key to turn a brand new housing development into a hellish slum. It was almost 20 years ago. Did you forget to design an off switch? Why the hell did you stop the damn machine? I couldn't. Something happened. Part of the malfunctioned. We couldn't turn it off. Then why didn't you blow it up, wrap it in C4, and turn it into a scrap heap? Mother refused. Wu's tone turns icy cold. Why? I never found out. She wouldn't tell me. She would only say that it wasn't worth spending the additional resources to figure out how to fix it, or even how to turn it off. Words started spilling out of the old man. She sealed off the maintenance room. Our engineers poured a sarcophagus of thick concrete around it so no one would ever find out what we had done. Then she wrote the project off as a business loss and moved on like nothing ever happened, right? Yes. His face flushes and he fidgets with a gauze bandage on his head. After that, I left Hong Kong, started a new life in Seattle, found you too. You should have stayed, tried to do something about it. Wu grimaces, disappointed. You were a coward, Raymond. Yes. Raymond stands up straight, takes a shaky step towards Wu. Yes, Duncan, I was a coward. And the guilt, the burden of my cowardice gripped me like a vice that never loosened. It's eaten me from the inside for 20 years. He licks his lips, tries to breathe. And then the nightmares began horribly. Still, I kept working on the problem, night and day. So that's the work that kept you in your study until all hours of the morning. It took me years, even after you left, to make the connections, find what to do. But I did. I figured it out. And still the nightmares intensified until they became unbearable. I knew I had to come back, fix what I had done. That's why I contacted you, to help me see it through. Wu mumbles something, but all you can make out is the word coward. Wait, there's still a piece missing. What's causing the visions we're all having? Raymond's voice flattens. When the machine malfunctioned, when the circulator became stuck in astral space, it lodged in another domain. He sways and his lips begin to tremble. And something lived there. Not good. The old man begins to drift. After 20 years of constant force, the circulator finally began tearing astral space, created a rupture in her domain. He begins rocking in place. And now she's pushing through, and now she's pushing through, and now she's pushing through. Yeah, she's pushing through, all right. Wu snarls at his foster father. The queen with 1,000 fucking teeth. A thing you brought here, Raymond. Raymond stops his rocking, becomes fully lucid. He snaps back at Wu. I understand that, Mr. Wu. That's why I came back. I believe she is only partially here. She hadn't pushed all the way through yet. She's probing her new haunting ground. The emotional strain as snap at Wu rattles him again. I know what to do now. How to extract the circulator, shut the machine down before she can fully manifest. Just get me to the center of the walled city, to the fortune engine. I will do the rest. Please help me. Help them. Ooh, so yeah, we're heading up into final mission time. But yeah, we're pretty much at the end game, so alright, let's see. Let's see. None of these choices really matter, just like reading over them again just to make sure. Duncan's right, there's a thing in there and it needs to be sent home. The little Decker's eyes open wide, more white than Iris. Her breathing becomes faster, shallower. It's not just a thing, Wiggles. It's a Yama King, a demon goddess. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can go back in there. We're trapped, is. We can't run, and believe me, I want to. It's all I've been thinking of. The rat shaman's shoulders rise with tension. But the APB is still out on us in those visions. I got a feeling that we're not going to stop unless we make him stop. And that fragile old man's the only way to do it. We got to take him in there, Is. We got to help him fix this. I, for one, wish to see this fortune engine. I am intrigued. Raptor's pale eyes glint. I willingly go. Gaichu's face remains impassive, but his eyelids lower in anticipation. I have the opportunity to kill a god. I cannot allow the opportunity to pass unanswered. I hate this Crunchy. I hate this life. Wu sets his jaw and hooks his thumbs into his belt. He stares evenly at Raymond, his voice cold. But I owe you, Raymond, and I'm not walking away from that. I intend to make us even. I'll help you fix your mess, or die trying. Well then, we got one more mission to go, folks. But before we talk to Raymond and everything, let's see how the town's doing. So this might be a long episode because it's mainly going to be conversation, because I want the last couple episodes to be the finale, or the final mission. So yeah, everyone in town's kind of grouping up a bit. As you can see, some people hanging out in there because of the monsoon coming in, so which has been talked about throughout the whole game, so, or the hurricane. I mean. Let's talk to Rob about Matthew. Matthew seems folded in on himself. He has a shell-shocked look. His head hangs forward, and he doesn't appear to see anyone, including you, despite the brilliant toothy smile plastered across his face. You okay there? Huh? What, beautiful? Oh yeah, doing good. Great. Real good. Real... His voice trails off. He looks across the room at two old men leaning up against the wall, sharing a bottle of whiskey. I wonder if I can get some of that. Slap Matthew. Snap out of it. What? He screams in surprise. It's a weird amalgam of terror and gusto. Then he immediately goes back to his eerie, cheerful obliviousness. A red welt appears across his face. The slap does not appear to have snapped him out of anything. Hey Matthew, I need a drone. Sure. I brought over the security ones in case Ambrose needs to pilot them. He blinks at you, eyes clearing for just a moment. A tsunami of abject terror floods them. I had to leave the others. Kuang Ha is gonna kill me. But yeah, you can buy. So this is the last point in the game to buy stuff. So make sure sell anything you're not using and start beefing yourself up with the best drones or whatever you got. So yeah, the shops are at their. You know, everything is available. Although everything was available since the last couple of missions, but you know what I mean. So, all right, let's talk to Ambrose. Chrome Alley is crowded with Heoi residents crushing into the bunker-like space. People you know, clutching their heads, crying, some bloody. Wiggles, I can't talk. I've got a whole bunch of... Ambrose falls silent and stares at you. For hell, Wiggles, you look like you've been through a train wreck. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. So now we can ask, just buy the stuff from him. So, you need anything? Yeah, get out there and do something. I can't even drink. I've got so many people coming apart at the seams. He nods to a couple of old men leaning up against the south wall, handling a bottle of rice whiskey back and forth. Dashi and JP are self-medicating on my behalf. Actually, there's something specific you can do, too. Get Maximum Law off the street. I mean, docks or whatever. Or at least arm his ass. You got anything to arm him with? Me? Hell, I need everything I've got to watch the door. Ambrose looks around the clinic. Well, actually, I've got Matthew's drone in here and the death machine up in the ceiling. I guess I can do something for a while, or have something for a while. Waldo's arm swings over and reaches under Ambrose's chair. With its clack, it pulls out something black and metallic. An Uzi 3, laser sights, folding stock, dripping a sling and clothing ammunition pouches. This is Rachel. She's got 2 spare mags in the pouches. Tell him not to shoot his food off. So we get the Rachel, the Uzi item. We can't actually use it, by the way, so... Ambrose, what's with this crappy gun? What? The Uzi 3 is a solid gun. Once you rebuild it, I mean, if it's stock, it's a piece of crud, but that's just because they stamp them out like cupcakes. For Rachel here, she's a princess. Ambrose braces himself as if ready to sign away his soul. Go, give law my real princess. This is gonna be a shit show, but okay. Alright, I got no more time for this. Ambrose fidgets and stares around the clinic. His eyes go wide. Go do your thing, I gotta do mine. Got a shit ton medical supplies, no question. Or I need that, so yeah. Then you can buy, trauma kits, level 3, premium heals, stuff like that. Supply cabinet's gonna have, same thing. And then cyber. Are you out of your gourd right now? Ambrose's jaws drop, flabbergasted, then brow wrinkles as jaw tightens. You got that look in your eye. I know that look. The heavy work look. Alright, I'll make time, but don't expect a soft wake up from the anesthetic or a fuzzy bedside manner. Get your ass on the table. And yeah, I'm not actually buying that because, that'd make my magic worse. Godspeed, Wiggles. If you could do something to stop my neighborhood going to hell, that'll be rock solid. Alright, let's go look at everyone else. Alright. Yeah, you can hear rain going on in the background as everything's going to crap, so. Alright, let's see how the Kai 5 family are doing. Frederick looks desperate, intense, ready to erupt into violence at the slightest provocation. We gotta get through this, whatever it is. He turns away, resuming his vigilance. Yeah, they don't have much to say, unfortunately. Callum is obviously drunk. You need some drugs. Things are crazy outside our heads. Might as well be crazy inside your heads, too. Look me up, yo. And yeah, you can buy any drugs you want. Nothing new there. How about you, Henry? The world's gone mad. I feel like my skull is coming apart. Yeah, it looks like whatever this Yama King is, her influence is getting to the breaking point. So we gotta stop her before she actually comes into the world itself. Or at least fully. Kind of like those bug creatures from the first game, so. Ermine's eyes are bleary. Blood from a recent nosebleed speckles her upper lip. Wiggles, you need armor, ammunitions, painkillers? She nods towards her son. For painkillers, taught to Callum. Show me the goods. And yeah, you can buy all the guns and everything like that, so. Whatever you need, whatever is best for your build. Really couldn't tell you, like, what is the most optimal build for. It really depends on how you play your character and everything like that, so. Now let's see what everyone else has to say. By the way, I'll do shopping in between this episode and the next, so I'll tell you what I buy for my character if you're playing Wizard. And even then, my build's not even really that efficient or good. It's just, Shin is packing everything into a series of crates. There's a sense of urgency around the monk, though you do get a nod as you approach. You want anything? You best make it quick. After all that shit that's been going down, I'm clearing out until things settle down. Show me what you got. And yeah, just swords, weapons, swords, axes, hammers. Yeah, if you want the best armor, 8 is what you're gonna get in this game. So nothing better than 8. Just like real life. Alright, let's find out Law so we can give him that gun. Because, who needs courage when you have a gun? That's the American way. Maximum Law stands out in the rain, arms folded across his chest. His normal air of bravado and jitterousness has blown away like cobwebs. He exudes the aura of a granite block, or an anchor, abandoned by its ship and about to be overwhelmed by the ocean. Sup, Wiggles? Sup? Shouldn't you bunker up? No, I'm sick of people asking. He juts his lower jaw. His VR goggles appear to be about to give up the ghost, but his feet are firmly planted. I'm not going anywhere. This is my boat, my barge, and my techno palace. I'm staying. Maximum Law doesn't rabbit, yo. He's here to stay. He raises his clenched fist, then displays his fingers dramatically. Boom. All right. You armed, Law? Ambrose wants to be sure you are if you're staying out here. What? No, I always just rely on the neighborhood for protection. He looks around anxiously. Shit, I guess I can't rely. From voice. What? No, I always rely on the neighborhood for protection. He looks around anxiously. Shit, I guess I can't rely on nothing now. So if you have an intelligence of 5, you can say, call Irma and Kai-Fi and offer her 500 Nuyen for a street sweeper for that price, and she'll bring it out to you through a nuclear bombardment. Or if you have Rachel, you can give her Rachel. So yeah, this is Rachel. Ambrose sent it. Oh, thanks, Wiggles. Claude takes the submachine gun reverently from you. You know how that works. I've seen it done a ton of times in Matrix games. Yeah, don't shoot your foot off. Good luck then. Or if you have ranged combat, which, well, I guess unless you're a physical adept, you're probably gonna have at least 8-point ranged combat. Okay, but yeah, you have to at least have 8-point ranged combat for this option. Okay, hold it. Safety's here. This is the fire selector. It's a light round, but Ambrose only has a BRFA trigger group, so it's gonna buck. Keep it on burst. Wait, don't I want... No, I guess you're right. Okay, burst only. Magazine releases is here. When you insert a fresh magazine, pull the charging lever like so to chamber a round. Law dutifully mimes the reloading sequence. Like this, and kathunk. Never put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to engage. Don't sweep the muzzle past anything you value. Keep it in the sky, at the ground, or at the target. Law sheepishly takes his finger off the trigger. Okay, I got it. So more like a cold kill warfighter than Wildlife Chronicles. Shoot at very close range, center at the torso, 2 hands and the gun at the shoulder like this. Shoot sparingly. Any stray rounds can kill someone you care about. Thanks, Wiggles. Man, this is... Okay, this is serious. Law begins to casually drape Rachel over his chest, fingers unconsciously back on the trigger, then pauses, removes his finger, and carefully slings the weapon. Alright, I'm good. Anything I can help you out on? And then you can ask her for tech. So, any new decks or programs. So, but nope, nothing I need. Keep your head on a swivel. You too. Alright. So Law's gonna be okay. For the most part, anyway. Alright, I don't think we can go talk to, Kindly, or not, yeah. Kindly, nope, she's not available. Or at least not here, anyway, so. Yeah, Matthew's obviously where he's at. And we can go see Crafty. Alright, let's see how Crafty's doing. Hey there! Still don't have any new information on the Alma Kings or Dreams. I think we're gonna have to wait and see how things sink out. Okay. Yeah, for whatever reason, they don't give her new dialogue for this part of the game. Her dialogue is set on whatever if you had her. I forgot what she says if you never, because you can actually have her never invest in the Yama Kings or anything like that. You could just ignore her, which all that means is that you basically won't have a couple options for the end of the game. You still have the chance to, because the game, like the previous games have multiple endings. So, but by doing these choices, it gives me the choice to choose those endings, if that makes sense. So, if we didn't, we never have these choices. So, I don't think there's really anything to really add here. Let me check. Yeah, no BBS, no one's talking about it. I'm surprised I don't, for being right before the final mission, I'm surprised there's not any people talking about that or whatever anymore, so. Let's see, and I think everyone's out. Yeah, at this point. Except Koshei's sitting right there, so yeah, everyone's not at their locations, so. Okay. Yeah, let's go back outside and talk to Raymond. Who's right here. Now, make sure to save it here, too, just in case you make a mistake if you're trying to unlock all the endings. Yeah, see, everyone's right next to Raymond, so that's why they're not there. Alright, let's make a... Actually, you want to have a save in this general area anyway at some point. Oh, yeah, I have to go back. Sorry, I think I have to stop walking. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, for some reason, if you're in the middle of walking, when you go into your menu, it'll, it won't let you save for some weird reason. So, but anyway, let's talk to Raymond. But yeah, make sure to have a save here, because if you're trying to get all the endings, make sure you're paying attention. Although it's really only one choice, and you should remember this choice. But just in case, Raymond and Wu stand near each other in the rain, staring at the walled city, not talking. The old man looks at you, very weary but alert. You look like you have something on your mind, Mr. Boulder Shoulder. There is a lot of we don't know about you, isn't there? Of course, you saw the world, saw me through a child's eyes. How much do we actually learn about our parents before they die? Some people do, but some people don't because, you know, they want to leave them to their own devices, so leave them to tell their stories if they want to, so. Well, today we learned that you're a genius who can create magical machines. We learned that you have a rich, powerful mother on the ruling council of Hong Kong who kidnapped you to reprogram your brain. And we learned that the two of you are responsible for the suffering of thousands. Pretty big score from my perspective. Did I get everything, Pikel? You left out that you accidentally let a demon god move into the neighborhood. Right, that. Was it greed, Raymond? Is that what was all behind all this? I wanted to help people. That was an accident. Are you sure it was an accident, Raymond? The old man shakes his head sadly. I have no idea anymore. All I know is that I am compelled to stop that machine, do whatever I must to send that creature back to where she came from, to make things right. That's just it. Wu wheels on Raymond, closes the gap between them. You can't make things right, Edward. You can't erase 20 years of misery and suffering. The best you can hope for is to remove the unnatural part of it. Allow that horrible slum to be horrible without toxic key or whatever you said. You're not gonna push the make it all. So should we run? No way, I'm not gonna be like him. I'm not gonna run. Raymond cringes at that. He screws his eyes shut, trying to ward it off. But then he's still for a moment, and his jaw sets. And when he opens them again, his eyes are defiant, authoritative. I did what I did to help people, Mr. Wu. And when I couldn't help them anymore, I left and I continued helping people in Seattle. In that teen center, in that slum I took you from. Or did you forget where you're from? Oh, I didn't forget, little man. How could I, with you reminding us of it every chance you get? How you saved a poor little Chinese boy. He lowers his head until it's inches from the old man's. After you ran from the thousands who looked just like him. My motivations for helping you aren't relative, Duncan. He points a bony finger at Wu, runs it up and down, the orc towering above him. Look at you. The results are what counts. Wu doesn't pull back. He leaves his face a hair's breadth from his foster father's. I know, Edward. Your motivations for building that machine aren't relative here either. Wu cocks a thumb at the walled city, at the throngs running from in terror. The results are what counts. Yeah, so, yeah, they're getting a bit of a spat there, isn't it? So, yeah. Drama! Yeah, and now at this point, this is the point where we need to actually say the line that we said way earlier in the game. This helps us get the best ending of the game if you choose to do it anyway. It's the scene where where Duncan asks you what the line that Raymond always says or Edward always says. It's whatever line you chose. You need to parrot this line back to him again at this point to get this ending. So listen to what you know instead of what you fear. Both men recoil at that, mouth agape. They stare at one another, remembering a time years ago when they were similarly conflicted. What you fear? That thing with lockjaw. Double tray. Wu looks at you, remembering, and his tone softens dramatically. I just realized why you were always so on edge all those years ago. While you were raising us, while you always seemed so tortured, you've been carrying this around the whole time. The old man shakes his head firm. I have. But that guilt is nothing now. When I think of what the circulator, the rift, Raymond's eyes open up big. More of them could get in. More like, Do you think that can happen? More Yama Kings can make it through? Yes, the possibility exists to remove the choke. The machine could be set to overdrive. The circulator tear the astral rift even wider. Open the floodgates for more to enter. We can't let that happen. No, Raymond, we can't. Wu looks the old man in the eye, his hostility replaced by firm resolve. We won't. All right. And with that out of the way, the discussion's there. All we can do now is head to the walled city itself to stop whatever's inside. Can we pull the right team together, bring Raymond and Duncan together, and head inside the walled city and not fall into the chaos and start messing with the Yama King? We'll find out next time as we start the final mission of Shadowrun Hong Kong. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.